a national TV show that everyone saw and then come back in the studio and act like you didn't do nothing? Like, well, he made fun of me. Too bad. Are you a child or are you a grown woman? Have some self-control. And if you can't have some self-control, I'll come over there and teach you some. How about that?
So the girl that tried to assault Andrew Wlson on the Whatever podcast is back to confront Andrew Wlson once again to hopefully settle some things, clear the air, apologize. But let's see what goes down this time if things get smoothed over between the two.
So do you want to introduce yourself to the people?
I am Priscilla.
Sweet. That's dope. Okay, welcome. All right. So, Priscilla, you wanted to come back for a redemption episode. I guess where do we start? Do you want to say sorry to Andrew, maybe?
No, but I do want to say I do want to admit that I am ignorant of the YouTube rules and all of that. And so I do feel bad about kind of pooping on the show. And so I do apologize to you, Brian.
Oh.
For that.
Wow.
Because that I'm very ignorant about. The YouTube stuff I'm learning slowly. So.
Yeah, there's just certain words like the platforms don't allow, like, or it'll like demonetize the video. So we try to avoid saying certain words, slurs. There's certain topics that we go over before the show, like, hey, don't bring this up. So yeah. But you did kinda, get in Andrew's face a little bit. Do you want to apologize for that?
No, I had it coming, apparently.
Did this monster here, did he have it coming?
That was the first time I've ever met you.
And it was love at first sight.
So why did you try to dress me down?
He's a married man. I'm sorry.
Really, that all happened because you came back. I didn't say a word to you, and then he came back and started trying to dress me down. That's when I made fun of you.
I thought it was interesting that I presented a thought about an argument that you made in the past, and then instead of having a proper rebuttal, you just attacked my character.
Oh, wait. So, well, first of all, I didn't attack your character. I made fun of your voice. But the thing is
that's part of my character.
When you came back, no, that's not what happened. When you came back, who the hell are you to do X, Y, Z? That's not an argument.
I didn't say who the hell are you to do X,
Yeah, you
Y,
did.
Z.
You said that's her culture. Who are you to question her culture? So you weren't making an argument.
I said you don't know about her culture.
Yeah, you were trying to take.
I think that's laughable.
Yeah, you were trying to take a shot at me on your way out the door, and so I took a shot at you back. Otherwise, I wouldn't have engaged at all. And by the way, up until that point,
that was not about you. That was about.
No, you were getting into it. You're like, and you, Andrew, blah 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 blah, and then I made fun of you a little bit. But before that, I was totally respectful to you, as long as you were respectful to me. Is that not true? Did I say something before that was disrespectful?
I was on my way out, and I want to say it's like the equivalent of punching someone while they're turned around.
You came back to yell at me.
I did not come back to yell at you.
Yes, you did. You were leaving, and then you came. You said, "Brian, you're a small man." And then, as you were leaving, you came to take a shot at me. So then I made fun of you a little bit.
Yeah, me directly. Not any of my ideas, not my philosophy.
So it was warranted for you to personally attack Brian.
No, that was rude, but that is between Brian and
I see. So the thing is like you weren't turning around to take shots at me. You were just turning around because you wanted to make an argument on your way out the door. That's very strange.
I guess I felt unheard, and I wanted to feel heard, and I wanted to get my say, and I felt like my voice was being sort of.
How was I didn't have anything to do with that. I was just sitting here.
Monster.
Yeah, I was literally just sitting here. I didn't do anything to you. Then I made fun of you slightly because you decided
I think it's really weird.
You decided to dress me down. Yeah, I don't think it was that bad.
No, I do.
Yeah, it was get in your face and shove the chairs, and
I did
it was
not
that
shove
bad.
the chair.
You pull up the video.
I moved the chair, shove the chair, and move the chair in my direction so that you can look at me in my eyes. Because I think that in order to have proper empathy, you should probably look at someone in their eyes.
It was definitely a bit of a shove.
It's not funny. It's true. I was like, okay, well, if he wants to look at me in my face and mock me, like, okay, like at least you're looking at me, not while I'm turned around going to leave.
Well, you were doing things which were mock-worthy, and no, you weren't turned around to leave. You
just
were standing.
Being myself.
You were standing there
mock-worthy.
yelling at me, and I mocked you to your face. You weren't leaving, and I mocked you. You forget the part where you turned to me. And,
I was not
started
yelling.
You started to lay into me, and so I mocked you. And then you flew around the table, shoved the chair, got right in my face. Right. Put your face down.
I did not clench my fist.
Losing your mind. Losing your mind.
I was not losing my mind.
You were losing your mind.
And then I thought it was interesting how
when the young kids nowadays call it a crash out, she crashed out. There's no doubt about it.
This is like woman revisionist history.
I thought, no, you know what's funny is that if I was a man, you would not be so audacious because.
No, you're right. I would have thrown you out the window.
You know,
right? That's true. I would have just thrown you right out the window.
No, okay. So let me. No, if I was a bigger man than you, you would not flap your mouth like that because you know that I am less powerful than you
really
physically.
Funny. Most men.
That's why you're doing that.
Do you realize that I was in an ordeal kerfuffle in Miami, Florida, with a guy who was a guy who was massive, roid raged out of his mind. And he was threatening to do bodily harm to me live on a stage right next to me. I didn't back down an inch. I don't give a shit if you're a man or you're not a man.
No, I'm not
arguments,
saying that.
Arguments are arguments. When people go crazy and try to make them physical.
I did not go crazy.
You went crazy.
I got to vouch, and just to vouch for Andrew, the man in question was a large man, bald. I'm not saying that to insult, but he was blasted in tattoos, and he was an ex-convict.
And he was massive.
Massive, huge dude. I'm not talking about, I'm just saying. And Andrew looked him in the face. I don't even know if you looked at him. You're just like, whatever. I'm not even scared. And Andrew wasn't scared at all. To be fair, it was Florida, and Andrew was armed with a firearm.
But I'm armed with a firearm everywhere.
So there's that.
Because it's just, generally speaking, a good idea.
Mm-hmm. Especially for women.
I don't disagree with that. Except usually they don't get sufficient training, and so their gun gets used against them. But I don't disagree. I prescriptively think that women should probably carry firearms. I think it's a good idea. But that aside, I didn't run and get in your face. I didn't run over to you. I didn't go into your... Now, I want you to view it this way. If you were sitting there and I did the same thing, how would I be viewed?
No, but I do want to say that you are stronger, and there is that power.
Oh, I see. So you can do whatever you want to me because I can't do harm to you.
But I did not touch you, so I think it's weird that you framed it as assault.
Because you're banking on female...
I did not throw anything near you, so
you're banking on female privilege. The idea is I can do whatever I want to you because the public appearances, if you do something to me, right, you would be viciously attacked for hurting the poor little girl who didn't do nothing except run over and get in your face and talk about shit.
If I wanted to play victim, then I wouldn't have asked you to come outside with me and to talk about it. I wasn't trying to play victim.
No. Do you understand how it sounds when somebody says, let's go outside when they're upset?
That's fine.
Do you think that sounds like they want to have rational discourse, or do you think that sounds like they want to physically tangle with each other?
We would have talked about it, and then if you felt that was appropriate and that's what then there definitely would have had to be consent on both sides.
That's absolutely ridiculous because, the only time you ever say, hey, let's take this outside is because you usually want to, how do the young kids say, throw hands. I mean, why couldn't they just talk about it right there? And obviously she was heated up. She was riled up. She was angry. So you really expect anyone to believe that she just wanted to take him outside so they could just have a nice civil discussion about the issues they're having, whether or not she does sound like a deaf girl or not. And you know what, if they just agreed to disagree, then they would have just parted ways.
It just sounded to me like it sounds to me like a bunch of excuse making.
I think it's very...
You deserve it.
Okay.
It's totally appropriate. If the roles were reversed, that wouldn't be okay, but I can do it to you because you're stronger than me. Therefore it's okay.
Did I hit you? Did I inflict
definitely
physical...
shoved my chair. Yeah.
I shoved it, or did I pull it?
Yeah, if I walked over here to where you are and pulled your chair and got in your face but didn't actually touch you, what would the perception be?
That's because the argument earlier was that you are stronger than I am,
so
right?
Therefore you're justified where I'm not.
No, so you are using that against me because you think
because
that
I ran over
not,
to you?
No, you think that I'm not going to say anything because, of course, that's emotion is important. You can't just
who said you couldn't
shove
say
that aside.
anything?
I'm saying that's something that if you're just talking crap,
Yeah.
then whether I'm a man or a woman,
Yeah.
would it make sense that you'd be sort of antagonizing the person, sort of inciting
Yeah.
some sort of response
That's
from
what
that
happens.
person?
It's called a tit for tat. That's how it works.
But it didn't seem tit for tat. It seemed like I made a comment about a thought that you had.
Yeah, you were trying to take parting. You were trying to take parting shots where I just sat there and took it. You're trying to take parting shots where I sat there and took it. You want to get your. That's why you went over to the mic and were like, "You're all small." It's the same. You're trying to get your dunks in for your parting shots, and I didn't let you have your parting shot. You got upset. You ran over here because you didn't get your parting shot. Freaked out, embarrassed yourself, made yourself look bad, and now your argument to me is, well, Andrew, it's true if you came over and did that to me, it would have looked terrible and awful, but it's okay, I can do it, well, because you're stronger than me, so therefore I'm justified doing horrible things to you that you're not justified doing to me. That's literally your argument right now. Just pointing that out.
I want to say that what you did would be legally considered harassment, especially in a workplace.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
Way more than what you're saying me being assaulting.
No, I guarantee you that it's not going to be considered harassment for me to make fun of your voice. It definitely is going to be considered battery if you come over and shove my chair and get in my face.
Shove
I promise.
or pull.
Huh?
Shove or pull.
It doesn't matter.
How did you wait?
Am I applying force to hurt or am I applying force to direct?
But the chair moved.
What does it matter? Pull or push? You're still using force to direct a person, whether you're pushing them or you're pulling them in. You're still putting your hands on somebody else. Didn't anyone ever teach you to keep your hands to yourself?
This way, if you pulled it, it would have gone towards
shoved
you. It was a shove.
Is this considered a workplace?
No.
Because I know the laws on that.
In addition to that, nobody here, you're not employees.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, that was my question.
So it wouldn't be considered a workplace harassment.
So then what are we if we're not?
And just to be clear,
you're independent contractors?
Just to be clear, even if we were to grant that, your conduct would have been deemed workplace harassment.
And by the way,
Definitely.
It's completely legal to make fun of people at work. You can get fired. That's true. But it's not illegal.
None of it has to do with disability.
Nope. You can make fun of people with disabilities at work.
I've sued 2 people for that and won a bunch of money.
Were they above you in station?
Wait,
Yeah, and that's why.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, yes, it does. If I'm at work and there's some chick with a disability, and I'm like working, I can look over and make fun of her.
Hold on. We don't need to get into discussion.
You're wrong.
I need to do a couple.
Not that it matters anyway. These are not employees right now at work. I mean, yes, they have been hired to do work for this show, but they are not employees. So I don't even think it matters either way. They're independent. They would be considered independent contractors.
You can sue people for anything.
Hold on, because we have people joining the panel, I need to do some seating adjustments so we get everybody in frame. You stay where you are. Priscilla, can you scoot your chair that way? And then I need you to scoot as far that way. You guys are going to be
This was ridiculous. I can't believe they do this stuff like on air.
Please, so we can just get all y'all in frame properly. One sec, guys. Okay, I think we're good. Okay. Yeah. Oh, did you have something, Sav?
She doesn't have a microphone.
Oh.
Wait. So I need you to have good discipline tonight.
I'm going to. I'm less nervous.
Just can you scoot your microphone to the edge of the table?
And
then just leave it there. So if you want, you can put a microphone on the table for you. There should be one down there, somewhere down here on the ground. What number is that, Andrew? Here.
Just tightening it.
Where are they located?
While they're doing these adjustments, I also want to remind people, this girl right here who got all offended,
Hi, everybody,
she's
by the
I
way.
learned after she's apparently a comedian. Yeah, another female comedian that can't seem to take a joke.
Okay. All right. So then just put that right in front of you. Put it directly straight in front of you. Straight in front of you, like center it. It's kind of a interesting way to do a panel, but
here we are.
Here we are. Okay. So, guys, if you want, get 100 in for a read, 200 for a TTS. Would appreciate it, guys. Like the video, twitch.tv/whatever. And then if you want, you can Venmo, Cash App, whatever pod. Well, okay, so let's, I guess, skip back.
Anyway, making fun of people, not a crime. Definitely shoving their seat or getting in their face, yeah, that's arguably a crime.
Mocking to where it incites hostility or
not a crime.
Yes, it is.
No,
look
it's
it
not.
up. Well, why don't we just look it up?
Do you know what the First Amendment is?
Freedom of
Yes,
speech.
I know.
Yeah, freedom of speech. It's unabridged. It means it protects hate speech too.
What if we just
I
look
can go
that
out on
up?
the street right now in front of a bunch of people or and be like, "Hey, you blah 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 blah." Right? I could be like, "Hey, you blah blah," and they can't do. It's not a crime. Now those guys could get really pissed.
I don't want to
They could
talk
be
about
really
it
upset,
anyway.
but it's not a crime.
I don't want to talk about that.
No, yeah, I don't care about what your preference is for what you want to talk about because I want to talk about this.
Okay,
I
then
would like
go
to.
on.
I would like to discuss why you think it's okay to.
I would like to.
based on
okay,
based on
I'll
an
tell
insult.
you why. Do you want to know why?
Yeah.
Okay, let me tell you why.
Okay.
I think that everyone grows up differently. That whole conversation precipitated from you trying to present an argument that the C word, which I actually thought was a woman's, I thought that's what you guys meant of the C word, because that would be anyone's natural when you say C word, that's what you would think.
I did think that.
Well, hold on, but maybe that's because you guys weren't paying attention because the context immediately before the C word was brought up was related to the N word. And we were talking about race. So I don't know how you could, I don't know why you were asking for clarification on that, because if you were listening to the rest of the conversation, he referenced talking about the N word and it was about race. Right. So, and it's clear you knew because the words came out of your mouth. Right. You knew what the other C word was. So that's my confusion. In any case, we don't want you to say either of the two C words.
I mean, yeah, like Brian said, it's not hard to figure out what they were talking about when you listen to the context. Because, yes, well, I'll admit, I was confused about the whole C word, but not that I thought they were talking about the see you next Tuesday word. I just didn't know you couldn't say the other C word, the racial anti-white C word. I didn't know you couldn't say that, so I was confused about that, but I knew what they were talking about because of the context. Like, how is this hard to figure out for these girls?
Not because me and Andrew, if this was off stream and you wanted to say any of that stuff or it was a different platform, we didn't have an objection as it pertains to like the use of those words, but the platforms have rules and guidelines for monetization reasons. Some of them are stricter than others. TikTok's notorious for this. It's about the platform, and you got confused there. You're like, oh, why aren't we allowed to say the C word in like a general? No, it's because of the platform.
Yeah, we don't personally care.
But I don't need to explain to you. And in fact, in the pre-show instructions, we do explicitly say for our own guidelines and because of the platform's guidelines, avoid these topics. Don't say these words. You were on the show with Sav 2 Sundays ago or whatever, and then you were on this week. We went over the pre-show information. Don't use slurs. Here's a couple slurs to avoid, and we say including but not limited to. And so when we were messaging in the Instagram DMs, you're like, well, did you explicitly tell me not to say the C word? The problem with that is if I were to do that, you realize how many different slurs there are? Like there's hundreds of different slurs. It would not be practical for us in a pre-show environment to like, first off, even if we listed every single slur not to say, which would be in the hundreds, if not thousands, nobody would remember each individual. No one would commit to memory hundreds or thousands of slurs to not say. So we say, don't say these slurs, including but not limited to the, well, I'm not going to say it, the R slur, the F bomb as you dropped it, the N word. Those are like kind of the basic ones that could come up. But in any ways, it just seemed kind of strange that you're like, well, you didn't tell me not to say it. But actually, if you watch the video back, like in the moment when you're like, what's the C word? I was like, don't say it. I said that. I said, don't say it. And then you said it.
And he did drop the F slur, and he knew you weren't supposed to do that.
And the R slur, too.
Yeah.
After I was already told to leave, which I'm sorry because that was vindictive.
That, yeah, you did it maliciously because you like, oh, now I know not to say these words. Let me just try to his business.
No,
Right.
I already,
That was the point.
I initiated this whole thing with the apology for that. So do you forgive or not?
Do I forgive you? I mean, I'm over it, I guess. It was a couple of days ago. I don't know if I forgive you for it, but I'm over it. Like I'm not going to linger on it aside from this conversation we're having.
I just was shocked, and when it was coming out of my mouth, it was more like me like externally realizing what you meant. Like I was processing it and saying it at the same time.
Saying what?
The C word. I was like, is that what you mean? So it came out as I was thinking it. I was like, what?
No. But so if you watch the video back, there was like an initial moment where you were like, wait, what is the C word? What is, and I was like, no, don't say it.
Right.
I said it there. And then of course the pre-show information were like, don't say slurs. And then you there was a little bit of heat going on in a couple different directions. And then you're like, and then you drop it. And then you got the kick.
It was an extroverted thought. It was an extroverted thought.
Okay.
Well,
yeah.
I do want to say that saying that all your viewers are tiny,
They actually, I did a poll, and they all have huge.
I do want to say.
And Andrew has the biggest of them all.
You can send pics.
It's giant. Is this sexual harassment? Is this workplace harassment, Andrew? I don't know. Holy shit. Are you going to
send pics and I'll let her know.
Are you going to file a civil
I already did.
Oh, James Sexton is on it, on the case. But yeah, it's true. In fact, I even required verification. So they all had to send me a photo too. My viewers. So I could verify. You think I can't just take their word for it. I got some verification. So I polled my viewers. I was like, how big, like, is it, and they told me, and then they sent photos. And then also I got some pictures too, and there is a predomination of large women also, because I'm a large advocate.
You're not digging yourself out of that hole, bro.
But okay, anyways.
You're just kind of like in that one.
Oh yeah, you were sorry.
Do you just have like a bunch of pictures of all of their stuff?
Do you have a room, Brian?
I print out what's that camera that used to print out
Polaroids?
I print out Polaroids of. It's just
red string connecting it to each.
Yes, yeah, and I categorize it by like, does it slope, like the slope direction, and then like. Anyway, okay, this is kind of weird.
Well, it seems like they have settled their differences. However, I noticed there is still about a good, like 15 minutes left in this video.
Wait, so you were going to say something about how I don't know if it was about to be an but you're saying, and I also said that your viewers are teeny misogynists or something or whatever. And what were you going to say? Yeah.
Are you allowed to say that?
How about say pee-pee.
Okay.
Shrimp. I like to do
Yeah, that
shrimp.
was very blanketed of me. And you taking the poll, I mean, that just shows.
Yeah.
There's your proof.
That they have huge, that they're hung. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. It's crazy, you know? What else did you say? Like they're also misogynists?
Right.
Okay, so hold on. There's a couple other things to break down here. As I was trying to get you to leave, but you were like, no, I'm going to take my time to waste your time or whatever. And as you're trying to leave, you're like, you hate women to me. Mm-hmm. Is that what you think? I'm not offended if you think that, but is that what you think?
Where were we when I said that?
We were standing in the hallway right there, and I was like, can you leave? And you're like, no, let me take a really long time to put my shoes on, to waste more of your time.
Scream
and then
at
you're like, you just hate women.
This is going to sound true, but I did black out for a lot of what I was saying to you after I left.
You blacked out?
Like, as in, like, I know you're recording.
I think your accountability blacked out.
I think your accountability also blacked out.
I don't know. I completely and totally take accountability for making fun of you when you were making parting shots.
Thank you.
I 100% take accountability.
Is that an
for
apology?
That. Absolutely not.
Absolutely
not.
Then I'm definitely not going to apologize.
Well, the person wronged does the apology.
Yeah, both
not
of us.
Not the person who's not wronged.
I would say both of us did something wrong.
No.
Then also where I come from and I wanted to say,
here
that
we go
whole
again.
Conversation,
it's about to be where I come from. Men do X.
It's not about men or women, and that's what's silly.
Okay. Here we go. Go ahead.
I wish it didn't have to be men versus women, but I'm just saying every single person has a different.
Well, how can it not be when you're like, my argument for why it's perfectly acceptable to lose my mind and do horrible things to you is okay based on the fact that you're stronger than me. So I'm just pointing that out. But anyway, go ahead.
No, because after I left, I saw what you said about it. And you were like, look, she was looking for things to hit me with. It's like,
she was.
You know what?
You were looking for
there
things.
was a bunch of things to hit you with. If I was looking for things to hit you with, and I wanted to hit you, then don't you think that I would have done that? So I think that's total slander.
You know, the thing is, the thing is like there was multiple.
That baby.
This is what she was looking at.
So there was multiple. So there's multiple women at the table who agreed with that statement.
3.
And the reason they agreed with it is because, like, I'm pretty good with understanding people's body language. Talk to thousands of people all over the world, right? And you get a familiarity for what a person's kind of thinking, what it is that they're kind of moving towards. And the thing is like, it was very obvious to most of us. Now, your rational sense may have kicked in and been like, okay, maybe doing that is one step too far, but you were definitely looking around like you were going to throw something for sure.
I promise you.
Well, how do you know? You were blacked out. Remember?
How do you know? I said when I was just talking.
How do I know that you were not seconds away from blacking out here and grabbing something? I mean, you're just prone to blackouts when you're upset.
What if you blacked out and essayed him?
When I left,
Rachel would have really had to come down.
You started saying that I was trying to find something to hit you with. There's plenty of stuff to hit you with. Mm-hmm. Look, there's glasses. There were those little crystal things. There's so many things.
Yes, I'm aware that you didn't do the action. That doesn't mean it didn't look as though you were going to, which was my claim.
Okay, well it wasn't true, so I'm just letting you know.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I'm not convinced.
Okay.
Yeah, I remain unconvinced. Yeah, I think that if you could have in the moment gotten away with throwing something at my head, you definitely would have.
There's plenty of stuff to throw at your head.
Yes, but you not doing it doesn't mean that if you thought you could have gotten away with it, you wouldn't have, nor that you weren't looking for something and then just thought better of it.
I wasn't.
Well, I don't know. Who knows? Because you blacked out after you left. You know, you don't even remember. You don't even remember what you said. You don't remember.
That was the only
your
part.
Version of events aren't so clear because you weren't conscious for some of them, you know?
I mean, that is true. Listen, we're not mind readers. So we can't definitively say, yeah, she was definitely thinking about throwing something in the moment and thought better of it, blah, blah. We can't definitively say that. However, yes, by body language, we can maybe take cues And also, like, she did say she blacked out. So it is true that her version of events might not have been reliable.
Maybe the part where you were looking for things to throw at me, you just missed.
I did
because
not.
Because in that moment, you blacked out for just a few seconds.
I didn't look.
How would you know if you blacked out?
Well, first of all, it was all being filmed, so I think we would know if I picked something up to...
We should watch the film, because it definitely...
Can we?
Sure.
We can pull it up.
Yeah, it definitely looked...
We can pull it up.
You'll see.
Okay, I just want to say what I was about to say so that you don't think it's men versus women. I was going to say each individual person has their own path and how they were brought up, and each circumstance is different. And that whole conversation precipitated by you were about to present an argument of which is worse, the C word or the N word. I wanted to say even presenting that argument contributes to the systemic oppression of black people in the U.S.
Oh, geez. Oh, gosh. Of course, these lefty progressives. This is a comedian, by the way. She is a self-identified comedian. And yet she thinks, well, just by comparing the C word to the N word, that is systemic racism toward black people, blah, blah, blah. And once again, she is then using that now to justify her actions. Like, she had the right to get angry because they had the nerve to compare the N word to the C word, which, once again, that is not their rules. They didn't just come up with that rule. You can't say the C word. They were going by the respective terms of services for the platforms. She could disagree with it all she wants, but at the end of the day, they don't write the rules.
To drop the N-word right there?
No.
I thought you were about systemic oppression of...
Yeah, it seemed okay.
She was about
but anyway,
but I also want to say that my mom was affiliated to Crips, which is a predominantly black gang, and how... And I want to say deep in my I don't think it's correct.
Did they jump her in?
I don't know. I just want to say deep in my subconscious, it's like the whole thing is if you want to talk poop, then you're gonna. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, don't just go around. And I feel
I see.
And I want to say.
So your mom taught you.
No, I want to say
to violently assault people.
What, did your mom teach you to mock people for that? It's insane. You know
what's happening?
Did she just really use that my mom was really good friends with black people? A lot of my mom's friends were black, and therefore...
Funny to watch this in real time. So here's what's happening here. So you take a woman, right? She's small, she's unassuming. She seems like it's not a big problem, this or that. Then you take a minor squabble where the woman goes crazy, does a bunch of shit, which clearly is insane, right? Loses her mind to the point where they black out. Come back the next day and then gaslight you. Literally gaslight you. Listen, this is like so many relationship stories like this. Listen, baby, it wasn't really that bad. It wasn't what you think. You're misremembering things. Honestly, I'm just a dainty little thing. You can trust me. I just did. And then the difference though here, we have it's like impossible to gaslight me because I've watched it 30 times. You were an irate lunatic. Pull it up. You were look at yourself. Irate lunatic.
I don't think it's an apology or accountability if you like make excuses for it. Like putting in like,
I
we all
do
grew
not
up
apologize to him.
And take no accountability. Exactly.
You don't apologize to Andrew.
I don't apologize to Andrew. I apologize to Brian.
For what?
For violating the contract in your rules.
I would never have filled out that
and also for making little jabs on my way out.
Okay, and what about the interrupting? Not following the rules?
And for not following the proper structure, the flow. But I want to say...
Do you guys want to arm wrestle or something? Like,
yes,
wait, no, let's not do that.
No.
You know what, though? Should we play the video?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Play the video.
Do you have an edited version of it?
Why did you bring me in on this?
It'll be after the bombs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have something before, though, we play the video?
Watch it on the big screen. You'll see.
Right. I just want to say that you... Wait, actually, do you have something to say?
Oh, no, I just don't want to watch the video.
Are you laughing at her, bro?
No, I'm just embarrassed to watch the video.
Are you laughing at my homegirl? Why are you laughing at Priscilla, bro? we will both mash you, son. What?
I'll arm wrestle you. Let's go.
She had crip training.
Let's go.
It's true.
That's what she said. She had crip training.
No, I want to say that is misrepresentation, and I felt that I felt like you were improperly using. This is a power dynamic, is it not? Like this is an unfair power dynamic.
I'm just a.
You're not a guest. You're like a would he be like a co-host?
No, I'm not a co-host.
Andrew is actually my indentured servant. I have a contract from his great-great-great-great-grandfather enslaving him to me, and this is here. And so Andrew,
least amount of power then.
Yeah, he cleans the bathroom after the show and like cleans up all the women leave their nails, their fake nails everywhere. Disgusting. He cleans it up. There's hair on the floor. And sometimes the amount of the bathrooms all up after the show, I blame it on the women. Totally up. Whoa. And so he's in there after the show. Like, what's that girl with the red hair from like the 20s in that movie?
This is some burrito revisionism right here.
What is that? Wait, no, I'm telling you.
Are you talking about like
Annie?
This is too.
He's like Annie. He's like Annie there. Like, it's a hard knock life for us. It's a hard knock life for us. And he's just in the bathroom cleaning. It's crazy. I don't even give him a Swiffer. I'm like, I have a toothbrush in there that he has to use, and that's how he cleans the bathroom, like some military.
You need to get him the Annie wig now and make him wear that.
So power dynamics, like, it's crazy. Like, you guys coming in, like, Sure. I have to see all this alcohol he's drinking. For him to tolerate doing this job, he needs to be tanked out of his mind because it's just brutal.
More tanked.
Okay.
I get that.
I get that. Okay, I'll shut up.
Okay, neither of us are. I feel like we both. You're right. I was taking sort of little jabs, and I feel like.
But I hadn't taken any at you.
Right, and I'm sorry for that.
Yeah, I just want the record to show that you actually provoked me. So the argument in defense for your whatever these weird simp goons have been making on your behalf, which is you provoked her. No, the opposite's true. You provoked me, and all I did was barely make fun of you. It was like a little. All I did was mock her.
I don't like that you're minimizing it.
Well, it's not only minimized, but listen. That is like the lowest tier form of mockery, just kind of making fun of somebody, right? When they're acting hysterical and you kind of mock their voice. It's the lowest tier. It should not take you from zero.
Hysterical?
Yes, hysterical.
Happened after you started antagonizing me.
Oh, I see. No accountability again. So I can control you with words.
It's like I did a jab and then
I can control you with words?
And then you punched me and you know.
It's like I punched you.
No, I did a jab.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry. Keep going. I was interacting with the chat.
Okay.
But Rachel wants to call in. So that's the wife, and I feel like she needs to talk to you like woman to woman, lady to lady.
Ooh, it's gonna start to get
good.
Oh,
your wife?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
You can enjoy the beautiful picture of me while I tell Priscilla that if she comes anywhere near my husband, she's gonna have to deal with me. I'll fly out there, and she could try getting in my face and see how tough she feels then. Because I guarantee if it was me sitting across from your ass, you would not have had that kind of energy whatsoever. That is. And for you to think that you can physically attack my husband, like get in his face, say you want to take him outside on a national TV show that everyone saw, and then come back in the studio and act like you didn't do nothing, like, well, he made fun of me. Too bad. Are you a child or are you a grown woman? Have some self-control. And if you can't have some self-control, I'll come over there and teach you some. How about that?
Well, Rachel, it sounds like you're a little unhinged. Are you okay?
You're the one that's unhinged there, sweet cheeks. I'm not the lunatic who tried to attack a grown man on a live podcast. What the hell was you thinking?
I'm wondering, are you threatening me on a live podcast? You're saying you're going to fly down here and you're going to teach me a lesson?
Yeah, just a stern talking to.
A stern talk. That's exactly what I wanted to do when I said I wanted to go outside with Andrew.
Wait,
I just wanted to give him a stern talking to.
cheeks. You ain't going nowhere with him. And what I'll do is I'll come and get in between you and him so that you can deal with someone your own size. What do you think about that? Now, you're going to calm down and apologize? You are the one who is unhinged, and the whole world sees it. The whole world knows it.
You sound like a delight. First of all,
she is a delight. She's a delight.
Nobody's buying your tears. You're completely full of shit.
I'm not crying.
You're crazy. You have no business doing comedy. You're not funny. Don't do any more podcasts.
You're not funny.
Go get a job at a grocery
Oh gosh,
store
Rachel.
or something, okay? Because that's what you should be doing. You should be like ringing up groceries. You're never going to be a comedian. You're never going to be a podcaster.
Do you look down on minimum wage workers, Rachel?
I'm making fun of you because you deserve it, because you're a laughing stock. You're absurd and you're ridiculous.
Absurd is true.
Yeah, you're not funny. You're not entertaining. Nobody cares about your little sob story. Nobody cares that your mama was in a gang. Like, what the hell, dude? Like, what the hell? What's wrong with you? Do you not hear yourself? Do you have no self-awareness? Just stop.
Right back
Just
at you, Rachel.
I acted like a lunatic. I physically threatened a man, a grown man. I physically threatened him in front of the whole world. I was wrong. That was stupid. Even if I was upset, I should have controlled myself. That's the correct answer. And if your mother didn't teach you correctly, I'm here to correct your behavior. Now stop your...
Is your wife reprimanding me right now? I think.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
You made a hey, you made it funny.
How to behave.
It wasn't
You need
funny,
your mom. You need a mama to come in here and tell you what appropriate behavior looks like. So that's what I'm doing. You're welcome. Now stay the hell away from my husband. Don't go try to smoke out on the balcony with him. Don't you dare get within 20 feet of him, or I'll be the one calling the Santa Barbara police. You got it?
First of all, I didn't lay a hand on your husband. Painting it as assault was insane. And I did not make a threat. I asked him if he wanted to go out and
you
talk.
want to step outside. And what does that sound like?
Cash me outside.
Yeah,
Cash me outside.
How about that?
What difference does it make?
What did?
Oh, it makes a big difference. It makes a big difference.
Was that-
Police are calling us asking if we'd like to press charges. It makes a difference.
I don't
You
think
better
that's
watch that,
true.
sweetie.
Okay,
Do you want
well,
to hear? Do you want? Brian can play the message.
sure.
Do you not believe it?
She doesn't believe it.
So she's still going to double down and act like she did no wrong here. She's still going to act like
Because-
you making fun of her when she was already acting like a damn fool.
You've been
is
Rachel,
grounds for threatening you physically.
you've been sick for the last couple of days. You need to go back to bed. You've said your piece.
You're true. You're right. That's true. I have been sick a few days. But I'm glad I got a chance to talk to this girl and let her know that she's ridiculous. She should never show her face in public again. Don't do podcasting. Don't be a comedian. Just go work in an office or something, okay?
You're
And
lovely.
stay away from Andrew.
You're really lovely. Thanks for the
She is
talk,
lovely.
Rachel.
She's excellent.
You're welcome. See you soon, Brian.
Anything final, Rachel, or is that?
Oh, I think that's it.
Okay.
I think she understands me pretty well.
Well, Rachel, I hope you feel better. Andrew told me that you've been feeling under the weather the past few days, so I wish you a speedy recovery and hope you get well soon. And looking forward to having you back on the podcast at some point.
Yeah,
And thank you.
I can't wait to come back and do in person. And hello to the whole whatever chat. You guys are awesome. Love you guys.
Thank you for calling. Boxing,
Those guys are pretty awesome.
boxing match.
Even though she called them small,
Down for a boxing match.
she
That'd
called
be
them
great.
small something.
Wait,
or
do you
another.
want to do a boxing match with Rachel?
Mud wrestling.
I would
No,
do.
not mud
I would.
wrestling.
I was
Jello
gonna say
wrestling.
I would do like a jujitsu thing or something.
Priscilla's strong though, Rachel.
Yeah.
You got to be careful. She's strong.
Oh my.
She
She has that artard strength.
guns. Okay, you got to be careful with this one over here. You know. But if you want, we'll look.
Pilates every day. Who should show
We'll do,
themselves on the podcast now, Rachel?
But
Well,
yeah.
I got a 255-pound deadlift for 5 reps. So, I mean, I ain't no weakling either.
Yeah, Rachel's strong too. In mind and body. She's got the constitution. But yeah, Rachel, thank you so much for calling in. I hope you feel better.
Go get some rest.
Yeah, get some rest.
Thanks, guys. Have a good show.
Good night, Rachel.
Thanks,
All
Doug.
right.
It just sucks. I can hear it in her voice.
Yeah, spicy.
Ooh.
You're a little man, Brian. I'm sorry for that.
Destroy the video.
Thank you.
And here's where you come
I
back.
saw your discussion with the crew.
Get the
I just want to say that's
Get
like,
out,
you don't
lady.
know her culture.
Get out.
Talking
Sound
shit.
Like you're deaf
And you're freaking stupid.
Hey, pause it.
What if we talk about?
You're gonna physically assault me?
No, look, you shoved it. You didn't pull it. Back it up. Back it up. Back it up.
Pause it.
Back it up.
So,
she
Nick,
pushed the chair. She didn't pull it. Look.
Hold on,
was like
let me-
a
I need to
bit.
tell- I need
Lying
to tell him
through
how
your
to do
teeth.
it.
First lie. We're catching you in the first
Okay,
lie.
can I say that it was more like a
Use
swivel?
the-
Yeah,
Nick,
no, you said
use
you
the
pulled it
arrow
towards
key.
you. You
Because it
pushed
felt like it because I
Back.
swiveled
Here's what's
it.
going to happen.
I
We're going to watch you
swiveled
in
it.
real time shove
Forward
my
one,
chair,
forward
and
one.
you
Look at
lie.
you.
This is
Look
the
at
first
you.
lie we'll
Look
catch
at
you.
you.
in.
How about
First
you look
lie.
at you? Look at you.
First
Look
lie
at you
we're
right
going to
now.
catch you in.
Ready? Go ahead.
First lie.
I swiveled it.
Here we go. First lie.
Okay, this was a swivel.
Yeah, so first
Play
lie.
it.
This was a swivel.
Oh, yeah, swivel.
That was swiveling to look at me.
You should stop. I want to talk about it.
Am I screaming? First
Yeah.
lie. First lie.
You're about to get to
First
it.
lie. First lie from Andrew.
Wait,
I'm
wait,
not
wait,
screaming.
wait, wait.
That's the first lie.
I'm right next
First
to the
lie.
mic. You're not,
First
and
lie.
you are screaming. Yeah.
First lie.
You're screaming.
I'm not screaming. First
screaming.
lie. First lie.
You're screaming. Wait,
First
hold on.
lie.
You're screaming right now.
First lie.
You're screaming right now.
Wait, let's watch the rest.
Okay.
We got to be quiet though while it plays. Bring it back to the video tab. No, don't click.
You're
not talking.
I think she's gonna hit. Are you gonna hit?
See, I said no. I'm not going to hit you.
Hang on. Here you go into the screaming in a second.
Priscilla, this is not making anything better.
Right there. There we go. Told you.
It went a little bit.
Let's go.
I could just.
Let's de-escalate a little bit.
It's still funny.
Yeah, let's.
See how I had to shift myself away?
Girl, I don't feel safe. You don't want to make the other girls feel safe. Let's.
The thing is, too, is like, look, even the other women right here are stepping in to try to calm her down. They're not trying to stop Andrew from doing anything. Yeah, Brian's telling Andrew, okay, just leave. And then Andrew gets up. But look at these women are more trying to calm her down than Andrew. So even the other woman there didn't feel quite safe with Priscilla's outburst.
That's what you sound like, by the way.
Told you.
I don't feel safe.
Come on.
Go down. Don't walk this way.
You disgust me. All of your followers
Screaming.
disgust me. That is a yell, but not at you.
That's screaming. Yeah, still screaming. You were screaming at me before this.
Thank you. Composed.
Yeah, still screaming.
Composed.
And then how were you over there when you were screaming even louder?
Not screaming.
You were screaming.
You guys were screaming at me.
I wasn't. I was on the
You're like,
balcony.
get the f- out.
I was literally on the balcony. I didn't say a word to you.
If that's not screaming.
When
so
I walked away, I didn't say a word
Why
to you.
rules for. It doesn't make sense.
Did I
Rules-
say a word to you when I left? Nope, nothing. I went to the balcony.
Right, and I didn't say it either, but we did make eye
Yeah, but I
contact.
can hear you screaming from
If I
back
wanted to go to you, then wouldn't I have done that?
there. Yeah, I know, but what does that have to do with you screaming back
And
there?
I want to say it's to
what does
me
that have to do with you
say
screaming back? Can you answer my question?
I wasn't screaming.
Yes, you were definitely screaming.
No,
we have
I
the
wasn't.
we have the cell phone of that too. You were.
No, I wasn't.
Oh man, just like you weren't screaming when you put your head this close to me and started screaming.
That was not screaming.
Yes, it was.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, that's
We
why
just
they heard you
watched
through
it.
the mic. Yes, and what happened is you started by not screaming, and then when you got close, you started screaming.
The voice went up a little bit when you started.
Yeah, because you were screaming. That's what happens. Your voice goes up. That's how that works.
That was not a scream.
It was a
and
scream.
like a banshee.
Yeah, well, you did sound like a banshee. Yes,
I don't think so.
yeah, especially when you went up right up to the mic and then started cussing at the audience. And just wasn't.
I did say that was a blanketed statement.
But remember how you pulled my chair? You didn't push it.
I swiveled it. Remember how I was screaming like a
Yeah,
banshee?
you shivved it, or you swiveled it by pushing it, like literally trying to
to
push it out
look
from
at
under me.
not to push it out. And see, that's not honest.
Except we literally just watched it.
Yeah, to look at me.
Oh.
I swiveled it for you to look at me, not
How
to
do you
push it out from
swivel it
under
without
you.
grabbing it and you shove it? How's that a swivel?
It was a push.
Man, so even after watching the tape, this woman still refused to take any accountability. I mean, I'll give her credit. She apologized for interrupting and saying the word she wasn't supposed to say. But in terms of her crash out, her reaction, no taking of responsibility whatsoever. Completely fine in this lunatic's view. Do you think there's any hope for this girl, ladies and gentlemen? Do you think that she'll ever realize that she completely crashed out? Or do you think that she is just going to continue to place the blame on everybody else but herself? Sound off in the comment section below. Smash that like button if you enjoyed watching her get owned by Rachel and Andrew and everyone else at the Whatever podcast. And if you really enjoyed it, please consider subscribing to my channel. I upload 2 videos a day with content very similar to this. So if you like this, I think you'll like some of the stuff I got on the screen for you. along with a bunch of other stuff on my channel.